My family, when they first started, I've got their birth certificates dating back to 1820 something, I hope you say.
1820?
Yeah, I have the birth certificate, not the birth, the marriage certificates, you say. Well, I have a model ship upstairs that was modelled of me great-grandfather's ship, and they call her the Laurie Dews, this boat, you see. And I always wanted to find out where she was actually built, you see. So I found out that she was built at York, you see. Well, when I look at the marriage certificates, my great-great-grandfather married a lass called Turpin, you see. And of course, we thought it was funny, like, I wonder if they're related to Dick Turpin.
To the road.
So, anyway, we finished a bit further, and we found out that the Turpins owned the shipbuilding yards in York. I've been going to 1800s, you know. And my great-great-grandfather married one of their daughters. So. And the boat, that model boat I have upstairs, was built by these people in York, you see. It's a scale model of an umber keel, you see.
Right.
Do you know what an umber keel is?
I do not know.
Well, it's a square rig ship. It's a dumb barge, you see, but it has a mast in the middle,
right.
And it has a square sail. You see, a sloop has a 4 1/2 sail. There's a foresail and a mainsail, a sloop.
Yeah.
But an umber keel has a square sail. And they used to use them to sail up and down the canals before the railway built all these bridges, you see. So they used to sail where they got a fair wind.
Yeah.
And if the wind was favourable, they would sail in the umber with them, you see, you know. And that is an umber keel, you see. And that's what my grandfather had, was an umber keel, you see. My great-grandfather, you see. Well, anyway, what they did then, before 1910, my grandfather used to run his barge to Leeds, to Joseph Watson's mill at Leeds, soapworks, you see. And anyway, Joseph Watson, as my great-grandfather used to call him, was known as Soapy Joe, you see. And they always called him Soapy Joe. And so when my grandfather was in a boat, Soapy Joe says to my grandfather and one or two of the old bargemen, "Why don't you come and work for me? I'm going to build a mill at Selby, an oil mill," you see. "And why don't you come get rid of these wooden keels you've got, and I'll build you," as he used to tell you, "and I'll build you an iron boat that'll carry 200 tons, and I'll provide you with all the ropes and the covers and everything, you see. And we'll work by thirds, you see. 2/3 for me and 1/3 for you, you see." And so he did. So in 1910, my grandfather came, and my father went mate with him, you see.
Right, yeah.
And the first barge they got was a barge called Leeds Comet, and she was built at Ouden Dyke. You maybe won't know where Ouden Dyke is, but it's between Boothbury Bridge and Goole.
Right.
I say. And they had a slipway there, and they used to build barges. Well, all Joseph Watson's barges was all named after stars. There was Mars, Virgo, Orion, I have a list of them. They're all named after stars, you see, all the boats, you see. And of course, anyway, they kept running up and down the river.
You don't have to
And they used to tow with a... And what they used to do, they used to tow them with a tug, you see, a steam tug, you see. And they used to tow 4 barges at a time. And all the barges used to carry about 220 tonne, you see, of oil seeds from Hull. They used to tow them up to Selby, and they used to make into cooking oil and things like that.
At the mills, the old BOCM.
That was BOCM, because it's finished at Selby, and a bargeman who works on the river, and my name is Laurie Dews.